Who's up in my van?
Niggas didn't pass the mic.
Oh, snap.
Oh, you do this. Oh, you do this, guys.
What's your project?
Yeah. I'm so glad that it's before we start the show. What's our project?
This is definitely going in before the episode starts. This is definitely. I'm gonna put that shit.
What's your project?
I don't get a mic.
Wow.
What's
Damn.
the project, dude?
Blemba Chicken Shaman, Mkhatwe KMK, and a whole bunch of other AKAs. The Sobering Podcast, Season 5, Episode 12.
I can't verify nor deny.
I think it's 12.
Nazo, okay.
Do you feel like it's 12?
I think it should be 13. That's my lucky number. So I'm here. Let's actually
we can give you
let's run with 13.
12.5.
Let's run with 13.
We'll round it off.
It's gonna be a good episode. If
So
we
there
full
won't
run
be an
with
episode
13.
12. We'll just move to 13.
We'll just
Okay, cool.
You know how they
So
typically
this is
skip 13? You know what I mean?
Okay.
How they typically skip it? We're gonna skip to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, cool. So
gonna skip to
episode
13.
13.
There's no 13 in the elevator. There's 13 here. In some hotels.
Yeah,
I'm
the
happy with
13th
that.
floor is
yeah, 'cause of
like
the-
the haunted
yeah,
floor.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you skip that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Big Fred, aka Holes in My Chucks. I'm Dr. Mashuba Diet.
Okay, cool. I'll bang with that one.
Yeah, no, that one I'm cool with.
Yeah, I'll bang with
Kitso
that
of
one.
it.
Fuck with the intros, just. I fuck with the intros, like the effort niggas go to, you know what I mean? Kitso, even you, because you have to sort of land
I have to be
all
like
this excitement, you know what I mean?
Tranquilize. Bring it down.
Tranquilize. Tranquil.
just balance the things out.
Yeah.
Tranquil. Got an amazing guest with us, an alumni. First on the visuals.
Yeah, first time on the visuals.
We
Yeah.
didn't have visuals from last time.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, the audio ones know.
Yeah, the OGs.
Yeah.
The OGs, the Sobering OGs knows what's up. I mean, lyricist of note, great musician, great artist. You know, Lena gave you a whole bunch of flows. There are a lot of people ran with a decade in the game.
Yeah.
That's not light.
And by the way, this
Talk
is
about
not,
it.
This is not a cash time special.
was
because
about
know
to say that
we had
are we-
Zinger on last week, but
Are we then gonna go into who's the other kid?
So this is the next episode, right after the
Zinger.
singer. Shit, that's dope. This is a special.
This is full. It's a nice full circle vibe as well, man. You know,
That's
welcome
dope,
to
man.
it, man. Kid X.
Yes, sir.
I like your
Thank you
shirt.
so much for Fair too. Yeah, thank you,
like
bro.
the color.
This is the type of mood that I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his aura is beautiful.
Just as a father, as a married gent. Yeah,
Amazing.
it's
The married
it's a
boys.
beautiful space.
welcome to the club.
Did you have?
Yeah,
did
shout
you have
out. Thank
did
you,
you
bro.
have a child when?
Yeah, I've got a child.
I've
still got it.
No, I mean, I know of Zen now.
Yeah.
I'm saying when he did the last episode.
No,
Oh, he didn't.
this is my
I'm just
first
missing out
child.
for this
Yeah,
now.
This is the first one. He debuted, you know?
yeah.
His debut, the debut baby.
I'm sorry, I'm mixing up fathers.
That's fine.
My
How you
bad,
doing,
fathers.
bro?
My bad.
I'm doing great, bro. I can't complain. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a beautiful time to be alive right now.
It's a privilege to be alive right now. That's what
True.
it feels like.
Your energy is even
So
more
true.
more positive. these
You think
days.
so?
Yeah.
Was it like a very destructive cat? at
You
some
were
point?
in your head the last episode.
You think so?
Yeah. Slightly,
Really?
Yeah.
How?
You just looked like you were very
Like I
pensive.
thought a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hence Father of Zen. You know what I mean?
changed, eh?
You don't think he's changed?
Given the little conversation we had earlier on,
You see, that conversation wouldn't have happened last time. You just looked at us and just been on something that's crazy.
No, but you guys also have a very tense energy about you guys.
Hey, man.
Maybe when you guys are setting up, actually,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tension in the room. So when I walked in, I was
It
like,
was just
"Oh,
tense."
Machito, it's Allah."
Oh, yeah.
You see,
You know
when
what I
you
mean?
walked in, you were like, wow, ray of sunshine. I was like, oh. What's a long?
Kitso was tense.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was
Why
like,
were you tense,
I was
dog?
like, no, because I was thinking about like machinery and stuff, and you walked in, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, Teletubbies when the sun comes up.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, man. I think it comes with just obviously everything that my life has sort of undergone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
It's wild dope. Like
It's very, very dope.
you've taken like a hiatus of sorts. I'm not sure if it was an intentional one or it was because of circumstance, but you've been out of the game for plus minus 3 years.
I would say 2.
2.
Yeah, because I dropped the album 3 years ago. I pushed it for about 9-10 months. You know what I mean? And then I stopped putting out music. And then I dropped a single last year around March. I didn't shoot for it. And then I just kept it moving. You know what I mean?
Those who caught it, caught it.
Those who caught it. And yeah.
Okay. But now we're here and we have a new one out, Father Of
Yeah.
Zen. But
Yes,
I don't know,
sir.
do you want to maybe do a bit of catch up before we get into the album? And
Yeah.
It's your show, Jens.
Definitely dedication.
Who are you asking? Because you're looking at X like,
Yeah, I can see where Mkheto's going with this because X, the last time we had him here, he was playing double dutch with us.
yeah, you know.
Wait.
Where do you want to go?
Wait.
Do you see?
Let me make this clear. My double Dutch ways have not changed. You know?
okay.
You know,
So
you
you're
know
still
what?
gonna double dutch us?
And Fana, that's who I am. That's what I come with.
So we should
That-
not bother asking you about rap life.
No, you can ask me.
You just
You know what I mean? I won't double Dutch. I'll give you what I can give you. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
want to get too much into it because I don't want it to be that kind of episode.
Yeah, we already
I
have
think- I think
you have a beautiful album out.
you
Yeah.
got a beautiful
new baby.
aura.
You know,
Yeah.
You know the
I like
vibe.
Look, man.
You know?
Look, man. Do your jobs, Jens. You know what I mean?
I would not say let's get into it then. Rap life.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Rap life. Yeah, I mean, we
I'm
can
gonna sip some water. I hope you don't mind.
You can definitely sip your water. I mean, yeah, bro, you've been at the center of some collapses. You know what I mean? I don't know if that would be the correct word, but
I love the wording.
a
I love the
deconstruction.
wording.
collapsing.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
a cash time collapse.
Yeah.
That you were there, like an exodus, and you were there, and then now
Yeah.
you jump into another situation where it's not history repeating itself, but there's another collapse.
It is.
It literally is.
You could almost say these collapses follow me around, right?
Okay.
It's crazy. So, ask your question before I actually say anything.
So,
you know what I mean?
what? Firstly, like, what was the difference between the cash time collapse and the rap life collapse, and how did you maneuver
Differently.
Yeah.
I think the difference with the most recent collapse was that I was an experienced guy who'd experienced a collapse before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, if you've been on a Titanic and you saw the Titanic sink
And
And
you
you-
survived it.
and you survived it, and you get thrown onto another Titanic,
Plus they're building a new one now.
you on that ship, first and foremost, you have to ask yourself, why am I in seemingly the very same predicament yet again? And for me, I did that introspection. I had to ask myself, and I thought, why has God brought me to the same situation yet again? And I realized, okay, the reason could be, this is the reason I took and put into my pocket. I said to myself, the reason could be, I need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because I'm the one who's experienced this.
Yeah.
And I can see the telltale signs, you know what I mean? When the shit is about to sink.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what my understanding of me being put in that environment was. To say, X, you've experienced this before. Come in and make sure it doesn't happen.
So turn the Titanic to Noah's Ark.
Yes, exactly that. You know what I mean?
How did you do that?
Yeah. How did you
I
try
did
and do
it.
it? How did you
That's what
try?
you're gonna do next.
No, not next. Like we just experienced the second sinking of the Titanic. You know what I mean?
So basically, what we're asking now is, how did you try and stop the sinking?
Everything. I tried everything. The one thing I didn't try though was put a gun to niggas' heads.
Which you feel like you should have.
Yeah. Okay. In hindsight, I felt like I should have put a gun to niggas' heads.
So we don't know. We don't know what everything is. What is everything?
Everything you would try to stop the Titanic from sinking.
Like
mediation.
So okay. So now that you touch on the mediation, for me, if you look at what is known about rap life in terms of who the partners were.
Yes.
You know of 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Questa,
Kid X, Nota, Leroy.
Yes. So for me, I got to a point where I had identified each person's role in that specific thing. You are here to do this. You are here to serve this function.
Yeah.
Just on a purpose level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to put that out right now, but maybe for understanding's sake, I feel like I should. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, yeah.
It's a safe space.
So it's not. It's not. You know what I mean? But on many occasions, Mfana, I sat with niggas and I made them aware of what I'm about to say now.
Yeah.
In a team of 4 people, for me, how I understood the specific roles and the strengths and the purpose of everyone was this. Questa, you are the guy who's on a quest. As simple as that. You know what I mean? You are the guy who's on the journey. No? That's who you are. Nota, you are the politician.
Okay. We can see that.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Leroy, you are the businessman.
Okay.
X, you are the mediator.
That's it.
I'll tell you why there needs to be mediation. Nah? The working relationship between the politician and the businessman was not effective. There was a lot of friction in between that. You know what I mean? The person who's on the journey needs this relationship to be seamless. Because if these 2 guys work together, both these guys working together at full potential.
Powerful.
Can take Senzo to the height of music, just typically. Yeah. Because the minds that these gentlemen possess, Mfana, is like unfuckwittable. On the continent, these people should be taking this guy to Mfana, biggest artists on the continent.
International status.
International levels, you know what I mean? And for me, that's what I identified very early on.
Yeah.
To say, damn, on a purpose level, this is actually what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So that is now the scenario, and that's what I make clear to gents. And as I try to obviously move us towards a solution, to say, gents, this is what needs to happen. This relationship needs to be more effective. You niggas don't have to love each other, but this is the mission, and you guys need to have a better working relationship. But Mfana, that never happened. You know what I mean? It just never saw the light of day. So, as a mediator, I thought about, what is your final act of mediation when all your efforts have failed?
Departure?
No, worded differently. Self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice yourself, right? So that the message can be loud and clear, and so that everyone can really understand. To say, Mfana, people only understand the things you've been saying in your absence.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're still there, Mfana, they take it lightly. They're like, boy. So I thought,
break it down for me, because I'm a bit lost now.
Please break it down for him. Please break it.
I feel like
break it down.
Maybe I'm not lost. I just don't agree. Please break it down for me.
I feel like maybe say I'll give an instance when you're in a relationship. When your partner often tells you like, please don't do that, please do that. Only after they're gone is then you realize like, oh shit, I actually should have done this. I fucked up or whatever.
It becomes real. The situation becomes real. And the things that were being said become the focal point. You start to really zone in on, yo, this person was serious. You know what I mean?
What don't you agree with about it?
If Senzo self-sacrificed, I would see the cause of it. But you being the mediator, because you're not the focal point of these people's purposes, you leaving doesn't change the dynamic.
It doesn't change the dynamic how?
It does. Things. The friction then becomes more evident. The friction then implodes as well because
there's no mediation now.
Yeah.
Nobody's putting more time.
That's how I see it.
So let me.
So that's not self-sacrifice. That's
departure.
Here's the
in
thing.
the form of sacrificing self.
But
Because
me as the person who departs, it's a suicide mission. I'm killing myself.
because you're also part of this machine.
Let me explain, right? So, I've been on a Titanic before, and I've left the Titanic. I jumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I come out when things on the surface level look like, yo, niggas are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things are going well for gents and they're moving at a steady pace. They look like they're really setting up to do some crazy things. If I come out and I say, Bafetu, I just left that joint and I'm moving in my own direction. What's the narrative? What do you niggas come in here and talk about the very next episode?
What, he left a good thing? I don't know.
He's dead. You niggas come in and talk about this nigga's dead. He just left another company. He's the problem. Dog, trust me. Trust me.
Look, I get what you'd say.
Maybe other niggas, maybe media.
Yeah, maybe media.
Not us.
No, but yo, I don't mean personally.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, but was that the narrative?
Because I don't recall having.
And also,
hearing
your
this
departure
narrative.
was not like.
It wasn't
not-
loud. It was very
I
loud.
didn't depart.
Okay, now I'm confused.
You see now.
Here's the thing. What ship are we speaking about? Ship 1 or ship 2?
Ship two.
Yeah, I didn't depart ship 2. Ship 2 collapsed with me inside, dog.
So what was the self-sacrifice about then?
No. I'm saying, in your final act of mediation, your only possible way of mediating is you self-sacrificing. You know what I mean? And that's something that I wasn't willing to do.
Okay.
Simply because
You see now.
I weighed a lot of things and I thought, if I self-sacrifice, what's going to happen is I'm going to be painted a specific way. I'm going to come out, do interviews and say, nah, it didn't work. I felt like I needed to move because I could see what was happening. Wada.
Yeah.
What happens back at the ranch where I just left? They clean up everything.
Yeah.
They make sure with Timfana. Everything that nigga spoke about, we need to make sure that it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So now those words become something that they act on.
I mean, that's one possible scenario.
Well, yeah. It's always going to be a possibility, I agree.
Yeah. So while you're in it and it's collapsing, what are you doing then? Because you won't self-sacrifice. That last resort, you're like, I'm not willing to do that.
One.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm watching.
Are you getting yourself a lifeboat? Or
No.
You're literally watching.
I'm watching, dog, and I'm really just experiencing.
Are you
it
like the
to
band
say-
on the Titanic that
Yeah.
kept playing?
He kept playing.
But I didn't keep playing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I just sat and I watched and in disbelief for the most part. You know what I mean? To really look at the fact that just certain things that you entrusted people with, and the expectations that you had of other people,
Yeah.
was just I guess mismanaged.
So at this point, how much of the percentage is on you in terms of fault? Because it seems like everybody was at fault in some shape or form. How much of that fault weighs on you?
How much did you watching?
100%. Give me 100, dog. I'll tell you why. Had I put a gun to niggas' heads, we wouldn't be sitting here discussing a collapse. No, we wouldn't, dog.
Okay.
You'd
Because
probably
it-
be doing
it-
time.
Yeah.
You'd just be out
Nah,
here.
I wouldn't have shot anyone. I think they would have understood the message. You know what I mean? But I take 100% of the blame.
I find it.
Because here's why. Let me tell you why. For me, in any situation that fails, if I'm a part of it, I know I could have done something to prevent the failure.
Do you not think that's being too hard on yourself, given that there were other parties involved?
I
And
can't
for you-
speak for them. I can't speak on how much accountability they take in the situation. I can only focus on my journey and say, yo, boy, did you do absolutely everything you could do?
Your
You know what I mean?
contribution.
Did you self-sacrifice? Were you selfless in that situation? Did you know what I mean? What
can
would
respect
Jesus
that.
have done?
That's a noble stance.
I can respect that.
What would Jesus have done?
Well, I mean,
He would have self-sacrificed.
that's what the crucifixion.
You know what I
is
mean?
about,
So that's, for me, my truth, dog.
Were you a shareholder there?
I was a shareholder on paper.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean by
Not
on paper?
not the actual paper that you are thinking of. So
on paper as in newspapers and not
No.
the real paper.
Verbally, a verbal paper?
yes,
Oh, okay.
if we can put it that way, yes.
So in the last ship, it was also like on paper, verbally, right?
I was not a shareholder on the last
No, I
ship.
know you weren't a shareholder, but even just as an artist,
As a signee.
Yes,
you could
yes,
literally
yes.
just walk out the door and
Yeah.
it's
Yes, that
peace.
that is true, yeah.
Yeah. And then in this one as well, what was the paperwork like as well? Because I would assume that if you're from a space where there was no paperwork, or maybe you
Yeah.
found that favorable for you, that the fact that there was no paperwork,
Yeah.
and then you come into the rap life, and then the paperwork is
It's
also,
also
minimal.
yeah. I think it is kind of a fucked up situation, you know what I mean? Because you'd expect someone who goes through something like that to then make sure that the paperwork with this situation is what it is. But in hindsight, when I look at it, I realize that there was a blessing in that. You know what I mean? Simply because the way the company was structured was never going to be something that benefits me in what I'm trying to do. So I was a minority shareholder. And in terms of how decisions were being made and how
Things were being executed.
and how maybe majority votes were being clustered. Those were things that were always against me. You know what I mean? They were always against my favor. And if you look at now me being bound to that contractually, I think, you know what I mean? There was a higher power at work that sort of made sure that, yo, boy, this situation is actually not going to be what you think it is. You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, there is a lesson in that. And I've learned it.
So, in all these things, it almost seems like you don't like force yourself to take center stage.
Okay, explain.
Like you're the mediator
Yes,
while someone is on a quest.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? When is it your time to take the quest?
Yeah. I think I believe in like playing the role that you're given in that specific chapter. You know what I mean? Yeah. What I'm saying is, I believe if you are given a specific role,
Yeah.
we need you to be the mediator in this specific role.
Yeah.
No? That is what you are meant to fulfill right now.
But
So let me further expand on that.
Go ahead.
For me, what is my center stage could be something that is way beyond what people are looking at in that space. You know what I mean? So, and I've come to realize that my center stage is something that culminates me getting the experience of a mediator, me being able to really like be up close and watch niggas really pop off in their careers, and then watch their stories unfold, those are experiences that I'm meant to pack into my entire journey. You know what I mean? Because what I'm trying to, at my center stage, live out is something totally beyond what I'm witnessing through other people. It's a culmination of a lot of things.
So what is that thing?
It's unfolding. I think the best way to put it to you,
the
best way to explain it to you is for you to really just watch the journey. If you look at the journey that I'm on now with Father of Zen, you'll understand that beyond just music, I think my role is more of a teacher.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A teacher in spirituality, a teacher just in life, and a teacher in a space. Well, I'm in hip hop. I'm in the music space, so I think for me that is like my main role. You know what I mean?
So what I'm asking is that the role you want? So you're telling me your
is
purpose.
That the role I want?
Yeah, like if we were auditioning for roles, what is the role you want?
On his journey going forward or where he was?
Even whether
he's
now,
saying going forward,
before,
dog. For me,
because all of this, like, it's almost as though you get into a situation and you kind of like adapt to the situation without even thinking, okay, what does Kid X
want in the situation?
You're like, okay,
what did you come in for?
What is
that? So, I think figuring out what I want is something that I figured out at a late stage, right? Sometimes I just follow like my inner guidance in terms of, move into the space, do this. You know what I mean? And those things become enough in that moment where you're like, I'm actually, you know what I mean? I'm making music, I'm putting it out, this is where I'm at. But you don't necessarily have it in your head to say, this is where I want to be in that space. And for me, because I believe in the timing of everything, you know what I mean? And I believe the type of artist that I am, dog, needs to collect these different experiences from different spaces. And then when the refinement process is done and you witness this thing in its full light, you'll understand why it took the time it did.
Okay.
This is not me trying to convince you, by the way. This is my truth.
Look, when once he said inner guidance, I knew
that was a double dutch.
I don't think it was a double dutch, but it was
because my question is it's almost one dimensional.
Okay.
I'm just asking you, what do you want? I'm not asking you what the future holds. I'm asking you, what do you want?
What do I want? I've already got what I want, dog. Peace, freedom. What we all want. That's what I want. It's not a double dutch, I promise you.
It's a blanket.
Look, man.
Once you say what we all want,
it's a blanket.
I think because when I was listening to the project, this really coincides with a lot of the stuff that's on the project, and it also coincides with his aura. So when he said peace, this is
like, what does he want? Kitso, what do you want me to say, dog?
The freedom thing, freedom is going to be a lifelong battle for all of us. And especially if you're in the music industry and, you'll always be a prisoner of perception, like it or not, but peace is something
I disagree. I disagree, but I'll let you be.
You can disagree. It is what it is, but we all sometimes succumb to public opinion in
but that's a setting in your mind.
I'm not even talking about public opinion though.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask is this: we know what you want now, but going into rap life.
Yeah.
When you got there, you assumed the role of a mediator. Is that what you came in for? What did you want when you got in there?
No. Me assuming the role of a mediator is something that I realized as I was in there. When I weighed up the dynamics and I observed certain things, and I tapped in, And I wanted to really find out, why am I actually here? You know what I mean?
Then,
The reason I was there was because it made sense for me when we were discussing the move to say, this is the play we need to go for. It made total sense for me.
At the time.
At the time, at inception, when we were speaking about, let's do 1, 2, 3, and let's, you know what I mean? It made total sense. Everything about it made sense. And you know what? In hindsight, I think it still makes sense, dog. Let me further expound on that, right?
Yeah, I want to further expound.
Give the shit in that. Let me further expound on that. It sounds like a crazy thing, right? So you set out what you want to be and you put that out into the world. I want to be the number 1 artist in the world, no? You put that out as an intention. And then the universe creates a syllabus for you. Everything that you are going through is the syllabus.
okay.
Everything that you experience in that thing is a module, is a test, is a what, is an assignment. That's what it is, my dog. And for me, everything I've experienced, so be it cash time, be it rap life, that's the syllabus. I cannot cry and I cannot say, ish, boy, I wish we could have done that better. No, I'm on a journey, dog.
It's a beautiful way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's a great way.
And you know what the thing is? Perspective is everything. Perspective is everything, dog. Because I could have been sitting in this chair and I could have really been crying about, ish, that thing was fucked up, boys.
Yeah.
I wish, you know what I mean? I wish I never jumped into the second ship
Completely
because
agree.
1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? But I understand it from a different perspective altogether.
Completely agree.
And I realize that these things are preparing me for where I'm trying to be. I mean, if you look at the music that is on this current body of work, okay, let me maybe start again. If you look at the type of artist I was when I left Cash Time,
Yeah.
and you look at the type of artist I am now, different worlds, dog.
Mega.
Different worlds.
Mega different. Mega different.
I went through 2 schools. I went through the school of Cash Time. I went through the school of Rap Life. I collected both experiences in terms of teachings. Those are things that are with me, and you can never take those away from me. You know what I mean? Those are things that I bring forth in my music. And just as a person, as personal growth, I think those things in Fana, those intangibles are like gold right now.
And then that's more on the music side. And then in terms of like the business side of it,
Yeah, the business side of it, I think for me, I'm still learning a lot with regards to that. And I'll tell you why. For me, I get caught up in the art. You know what I mean? I really feel like the art consumes me. And I mean, granted, because I have to give my best. And I realize that if I split my focus and I focused on too much business, you're going to pick it up in the art. Well, yes, you will.
you will. I get it. I get it. You will, you might or you might not. Look,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
For me, the type of art that I'm creating is a very specific thing, dog. So if you listen to my current project, listen to the range. Listen to the range of this current project. You know what's crazy? You bros are sitting with one of the most versatile artists in the world. As I sit here today, I'm one of the most versatile artists in the world. Mfana, put me up there. In fact, put me up there with. Wait. Let me tell you who you should put me up there with.
Yeah.
Put me up there with your 3 Stacks. Put me out there with your Drakes, nah? But you know what edge I have over them. So they below me. You know what edge I have over them?
X.
Hear me out,
Let him
bro.
explain
Hear
in
my
one
chat.
sense.
Hear
In
my
one
chat.
sense, yeah.
Hear my chat. Their versatility is only in one language. Wait,
I knew you were going there.
Are these lies? Am I
They not.
fabricating?
They
I
not.
think
But
I
Am
is-
I
I think
fabricating?
Okay,
You're
now
not
we're going to go into the
fabricating.
question. Does language matter?
What is versatility?
Does language matter?
I was
What
going
is
to say,
versatility?
here's my thing. Versatility can be subjective as well.
This is true.
I'm listening.
It can be
Yeah,
subjective
yeah.
as well. And
This
to
is
some
true.
people, language is not a slider in terms of versatility.
Gents, no, man.
Okay, let me
Gents,
put it. Okay,
let's be honest.
But let's think about it.
I want to hear you out, dog, but I'm struggling.
Because my thing is this, right?
I'm not even
The
gonna,
fact that when we would watch like a diary and then Jay-Z says he goes to Japan and they don't care
exactly.
what
That's why
language
it's
he's
like,
saying.
what language?
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because
Oh.
music is a universal
Universal
language
language.
in itself. So
Okay.
that's why sometimes in music, the slider of language is not a factor to some people. That's why I'm saying that versatility is
To
subjective.
most people.
You know,
Gents, no, man. You guys are looking for loopholes in the statement that I made.
okay. Then you're gonna
You
go.
guys
no,
are
no, no,
looking
no.
for
Okay,
loopholes
cool.
in the statement that I
I'm
made.
saying, like,
Wait, let's speak about this now. If let me maybe create a scenario. If I focused on just being a rapidy rap guy, nah?
yeah.
And that's the only sword that I sharpened.
Yeah.
Do you know at what level I'd be rapping?
we won't know because you don't do it.
So instead, what do I do?
Shout out to your zip there.
Shout out to the
Loud and
Zip.
clear, bro.
Instead, what do I do, dog?
Instead, you dabble into other worlds.
And at what level am I doing those things?
You tell us.
It's at an okay level.
Do you know what?
It's definitely at a.
At an okay level.
You know what, X? No,
Because
X.
I
we're
need
not
to
arguing-
understand
We're not
that.
arguing
I
your
need to
levels or
understand that.
anything. It's just that the examples you brought up.
Those are
It's
extreme.
It's tricky.
Those are
It's
extreme.
It's not.
Those are
It's
extreme.
not. You
if
know
you
what?
say if you say Andre 3 Stacks, if Andre 3 Stacks picks up a guitar and starts playing and starts doing what you do as well, it just so happens to be only in English.
Dog,
You-
but here's my thing.
And you
That's
said
my
the word
chat.
artist. You didn't say like rap
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
So if you putting yourself against 3 Stacks, and then I'll ask
Yeah.
Mlungisi to pick up a flute, what's gonna happen? And then Andre says, "I can play a flute," and then what are you,
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
say? I can
maybe
speak
he
in
can pick
Spanish.
something else up.
What can you pick up? Okay, let's ask there.
Look, in terms of playing instruments, they definitely would be more experienced with that. Because
So look,
for
in
me,
terms of doing it in Zulu, you definitely would be more experienced than
there's
them. Do you
sliders,
see? You are making
okay,
semantics.
okay, fair. I will give them the flute.
And they'll give you the Zulu.
Give me my Zulu.
Give you the Zulu.
Give me my vernac.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're putting in like a category of vernac, you shut them down hands down.
On this argument,
But you know what the real issue is with regards to this point? You know what the real issue is?
We're not gonna get anywhere with this.
I'm
one,
a
guys.
South African act. Wait, I'm a South African act.
Yeah.
And I'm still South African based. Nah? My career hasn't hit the heights of what it's gonna hit in the next couple of years. In this same space, right? If I was doing this interview from my residence in the UK and I was making these crazy statements, you guys would have to really like put serious weight behind the fact that this nigga's a diverse artist.
Disagree.
You would. You would.
I
You
disagree.
would. The problem is I'm still in South right now.
No.
I'm a South
But
African
Now
act.
you see, you're talking to other guys.
This is a whole nother.
These
This
are
is a
other
whole nother
guys.
part.
But make me
This is
understand.
another-
part.
This is a
Make me understand.
different, dog.
This is different.
Make me understand. I understand it's different, but let me understand the difference.
It's different. It's different because you know that we are definitely super students about this.
Yes.
And geographical location never played a factor here.
Yeah.
I think it does.
It
you know
never
what?
did. Bro,
I'll tell you
in
what.
2018, what would I say? When Strings and Bling was out, what
Yo.
was I saying?
Yo.
I was saying this guy could this guy could go with Drake. I'd say that with my chest.
Yep.
I said that like countless
Openly.
times. Countless times. So when you're saying geographical, what, or if you're in the UK, if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in where, it would. Nah.
I think the reason you said it is because you're aware of the machine. That's
was
behind.
before the machine had started doing
ways.
This was before the machine was machining the way
We can't
that it
argue
was.
that you can go back to old
You can
episodes.
go back. Go back
But you've
to
always
20.
been aware of the machine.
No.
Because wait.
No.
Let me make a statement.
We're changing goalposts now.
We
The
change-
machine
That's
has
what I'm saying.
always
We're gonna
been
go
one-
somewhere else here.
We're arguing different things
Yeah.
now.
Okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But that's my chat. You know what I mean? For me, this is what I want to go back to your main focus.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
Yeah.
For me, I realized that the type of artist I am is a very diverse artist. I sing, I rap, I dabble into different languages
100%.
while doing all of that.
Different genres as well.
Different genres as well.
Yeah.
And for me, that's slowly like what I'm polishing. You know what I mean? At the same time, I'm preparing my audience for this is what he comes with. This is what he comes with. So in as much as I'm getting ready, my audience is getting ready for an act like me. Because if you look in South I can't name too many acts who've set the precedence for that type of thing. You know what I mean? Okay. Personally, I can't think of too many.
That set the precedent for
the type of act that I am.
For the type of versatility that you possess and
Yes.
that you exude.
Yes.
I mean, he's saying he can't name a lot. He's not saying
me.
there aren't any.
Okay. A younger.
Kabelo, I think
Chat-
what he's
please
saying.
chat to your boy.
I think what he's saying is
I'm
he's
so-
not saying they're
Hold on,
not there.
hold on.
Kabelo, he's not saying they're not there. He's saying that he can't name too many. So with you bringing up names, you're only going to support what he's saying. But if you can bring up a lot of names, then do you want to bring up a lot of names?
You know what?
For me, the statement is just too grand.
Grandiose.
For me. It's too.
It has to
grand.
be scary, dog. It has to be
It's
scary.
fine for
The
it to
truth
be
is scary.
Do you know what?
I'm fine with it being scary.
Yeah.
It's wild, grand, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes the grandness is like, it can go into so what territory, you know?
Yeah. I
It
feel
can
you.
be.
Yeah.
Somebody can be like, yo,
So what? You can rap in Zulu.
so what?
So what you sing? So
You know
what you
I
switched
mean?
up a genre?
It's the calico. If they don't relate,
Yeah.
then it doesn't really
They ain't trying to
move
hear
the
you.
needle. You know what I mean? And we can give kudos to everybody's abilities, you know? But if it's not connecting, then
Well, I think that goes back to what your intention is. It does. You know why?
You still haven't told me your intention. That's my thing.
Your intention is the most important thing about
What's
it.
your intention?
To express.
There.
Express yourself. Beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep,
so it's not to connect.
If it connects, beautiful.
do it good.
I mean, you get it from him just releasing
should
a
I-
single last year and then.
But should I not express because it's not connecting?
Okay, here's my biggest. There's a almost lack of consistency.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? On the one end, you come up with like universe talk and blah blah blah, which is dope, and then I'm like, okay, you're that kind of guy, and then you switch up,
I love that talk.
and then you switch up, and then now you're grandiose, mafioso.
You know?
Ain't nobody seeing me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I want to hear the question. Is it inconsistent?
And then you switch back into the. It's still coming, ne? This thing we're building is blah blah blah, but like, and it goes back to my question. All this foreplay of like you learning these things and blah blah blah.
Foreplay.
What is the climax?
Yeah.
And you're preparing your people listening to your audience.
Yeah.
Preparing them for what exactly?
Yeah, it'll reveal itself.
Yeah.
It'll
What?
It'll reveal itself.
No, nothing wrong.
It'll reveal itself. You know what? The thing is about your question, some people have already climaxed.
The double dutch is started, bro. That's why I was saying, talk to your boy.
I'm
I wasn't
dead
talking to your
serious.
boy.
I'm not double dutching.
The double dutching has started.
Here's
We
the
have
thing,
entered the
dog.
Kid X matrix.
Here's the thing. The climax, it's all perspective. There's people who are watching the movie who've already long. You are still watching the movie. You are saying, "Ish, when is this thing hitting its
No.
peak?"
Kid X.
No, but
I'm
realistically
asking
speaking,
the writer and the director.
you're asking me.
I'm not asking the audience.
Yeah.
I don't care
You're
who's
asking
climax.
me.
No.
When am I?
Double dutch as well.
We can double that all day.
Do you know how I just want to put it?
Yeah.
As Kid X Otsebas Khoa. Like, to put it simple, like, he knows his way. Like, you have a way with words. Definitely.
Which
And
is a talent.
It's a talent.
Granted.
It's.
But my question is still not answered.
Do you think it's going to be answered?
Please rephrase. Rather rephrase, dog.
I don't know.
Because the way you asked, you're not getting an answer.
No sharp Buffy.
Yeah. Like, but with what you're saying about being a.
You know, you should have swapped. You should have stopped the not and be the politician.
There's a lyric on Pot of Gold where I say
I love Pot of Gold, by the way.
32 and approaching a new peak.
Yeah.
There's another climax on the way, is what I'm saying.
But I just want to say this. It sounds like what you're preparing your audience for, being this guy who's not just a rapper and whatever. It almost feels like something that you guys were taught at Cash Time. Because you look at Zinga, also with the way he's been doing things, also showing that he's not just a rapper. He can do Afropop, what. Would you say that's something that you guys got from KO and them?
I think you'd have to listen to the project that I made while I was there.
That's 3/4 pace.
Yeah.
Yes, 3/4 pace,
there
which
wasn't
I-
much singing on 3/4
3/4
pace.
pace was rap.
Yeah.
Rap
But
to
3/4 pace is
fully
still
rap.
my
I'm not
vibe.
saying-
that's my
I love-
vibe.
I
I'm not saying that's what you were
love
doing.
man.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Love
Yeah.
that ish, man.
I'm not saying that's what you were doing. Maybe that's what you're observing. And because the scale that KO was at is not what you were at Cash Time. So maybe from observing, okay, this nigga sings here and there, he does that and that. Maybe that's where you are. It could have been something that you got from Cash Time. Because I look at Zinga, he's also channeling. He's peering into that lane now.
Yeah, I mean, Tear Gas, if you look at the type of music they made, you know what I mean? They gave you the full spectrum.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's definitely something that you got a front row seat at observing and saying, yo, this is how you can really tap into just being an artist who appeals to South Africans and giving them what they really want. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, this is something I observed there. I don't think I exercised it while I was there. I think it's something that I tapped into maybe at a later stage once I'd left there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. So now I don't know if when I'm gonna get spicy or what, but who was really working with you on the album? Because Nota says
Which album
the last
specifically?
one, before this one, what's that one? Man? The one with the
Thank
lot of
the King.
joints. Yeah, Thank the King.
So from a production level, Makwa produced a bulk of side A. So me and Makwa spent a lot of time just knocking out songs, you know what I mean? We had a lot of records, in excess of 30 records, but I think when I had to pick the songs that were going to be on the actual project, we were very selective and we knew we needed to tell a specific story. So side A is predominantly Makwa. Side B, you've got a couple of Makwa productions, but it's mixed up with other people. You've got people like Maporisa on there. There's just different producers who come into play, you know what I mean? But Makwa is also there, you know what I mean? So from a working with me, I worked very closely with Nota on that project, you know what I mean? So just in terms of being in studio, bouncing ideas off each other, if you listen to a song like Mfazwe Pepper, he sings that chorus. You know what I mean? And if you think about the importance of a chorus in a song, that sort of directs where we're going. If you listen to a song like Mzala Wam, there's that Father pray for me, na, 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 na. He wrote that entire portion. You know what I mean? He wrote that, and I came in and I performed it, and then it gets into them Salawam, which is the piece of the puzzle that I had initially when I heard the beat. You know what I mean? So that's what I had in mind, and then he sort of wrote the pre-chorus to that. So, but just in terms of artistic direction, in terms of let's make this type of record for this. He's someone who is really instrumental in that. If you look at a record like Antina, when we made Anti, Nota came back from like a gig in Swaziland and he told me, yo, I finally got it. I was sitting in my room, and I could hear the original song, which we sort of flipped by TK. He could hear that from his room because there was like a gig nearby, you know what I mean? And as he heard it, like there was just a very, I don't know what it is, but in his head, things connected and he knew this is the song we need to wada, you know what I mean? And he came back and said, yo, let's get into studio now. This is the song that we need to fuck with. Let's get Makwa, let's get... and we did that at Maporisa's house, funny enough. We created that beat at Maporisa's house, clean. And then we obviously put it together, got Chiana in, she sang that. But that was his idea of like, yo, this is going to be the single, you know what I mean? So even when we were wrapping up the album, we had like a getaway type of studio session, just like a 2-3 day situation where we just gonna lock in and make sure that we finish the album. And that's where we made songs like Mtono Muntu and songs like Black. And that was also something that he, you know what I mean, said, yo, we need to do this. Let's actually move in this line. So yeah, man, he was someone who was A&Ring or executive producing on that first album, if we being technical about terms, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I mean, that's what he does. To be quite honest about it, that's what he does. He knows, Uguti, this is the type of song that you need to go in and make. Let's go in and make this type of song. And then, dope, you know what I mean?
And on Father of Zen, who was A&R in that?
On Father of Zen, my father is probably what you can say was A&Ring. That's the closest thing to someone who was A&Ring, you know what I mean? Because I worked on the music, and then top of the year, after the birth of my child, I was back home, folks, everything. So my pops wanted to hear, obviously, the music I've been working on. Played him a bunch of records. And he was like, okay, this music sounds dope. But I need you to look into doing this on this specific song. So even a song like Jukebox, he was like, yo, why don't you get Nomuzi on this song? And then you need to have certain moments that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? So
your pop said Nomuzi.
Yeah.
Dope.
You know what I mean? So he also told me, like, at that stage, he was like, Ish, but I feel like the songs that you've made, they dope, but you don't have like a hit record on it. But some of these songs, you could do certain things to really turn it into a hit record. And he would just give me those plays of like, yo, do this. You know what I mean? Because he's someone who listens to music from, he says, obviously, just from a spirit level, he can... You know what I mean? Hear the music to like, okay, will this work? Will this not work? You know what I mean? So he was giving me that type of advice. And obviously, since that trip, I went back in, made certain changes here and there. And I made probably 3 more songs that I added to the project. And I think once I was done, I didn't even go back to him because I fully understood what he was saying. And I was like, you know what? This thing is done. I'm throwing it out.
Say less.
Yeah.
So you didn't work with anybody from Rap Life.
The only producer I worked with was Gobby, actually, from the stable that was Rap Life at the time.
Was that intentional or was that just organic?
I think it happened organically. Yeah. Simply because I wanted something different. I wanted a different energy, a different feeling about this project. You know what I mean? So I wanted just to redefine myself beyond everything that had happened.
There's a song I wanted to ask you about. Do Better.
Yeah.
Solo's verse there.
Yeah.
When you heard it, were you like,
I was like, do we have to ask Solo about that?
yeah, do we have to ask Solo about that?
Well, I think you can ask me, but eventually, only if you also speak to him about it. You know what I mean? Because it's not my verse at the end of the day. You can only ask me from a song management perspective in terms of when I receive the verse.
Yeah.
How do I feel? Do I still keep it? Do I feel like, what shall I think? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because it's not slightly, it's controversial. The statement.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you keeping on a song, do you agree? Do you disagree?
I respect his expression.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to silence it or try and be funny about it because that's what he feels. You know what I mean?
So dope
for me,
verse.
yeah, he really like fucked it up.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like the sensitivity of the issue, for me, far outweighs whatever I might feel about the specifics of it. You know what I mean? Just the subject matter of the song is such an important thing that needed addressing. And if I were to come to Solo and say, "Ish boy, Maje, you 1, 2, 3," it's equivalent to me silencing him.
True.
In this situation. And if we look at the conversation or what we're talking about, how many of those people are being silenced? You know what I mean? So for me, I felt like this thing needs to be what it is.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? We need to put it out, let people have the conversation, which is more important than anything else.
And is there conversation around that? Or
I think those who are having it are having it.
Yeah. I mean, also just came out.
here we are. You know what I mean?
And now you with a bigger machine in terms of Sony.
Yeah.
How is it like being there now?
Sony is dope. Yeah. I think they're doing what they can. You know what I mean? There's obviously a lot of artists at Sony. Yeah. So it is what it is, man. You take what you take, and you move, and you also do what you need to do from your side, and that becomes that.
And then one thing I wanted to ask earlier, when you're talking about how business, I mean, you get consumed by the art, do you have somebody in place to take care of the business for you that you work with?
Yeah, I recently actually got that sorted. So I've got someone in the team now, because obviously now I'm building.
Paper.
The paperwork is something that we actually back and forth about as we speak. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But because now I have to really like focus on myself as an artist, like without too many affiliations towards this and that movement, but really just zone in on me as an artist and what I'm trying to achieve. So in terms of building a team, that's something that I'm formalizing right now, and I'm putting people in place just to take care of whatever it is that they need to do from a business side of things.
Okay, that's good. Fair. Take care of the paperwork.
Yeah, I got you.
So in terms of when you started the album, did it coincide with when your daughter was conceived, or had you already started working on it before the thought of your daughter being brought into the world?
I started the album 2019 August. Yeah, so my daughter was nowhere in the plans. She wasn't even a thought. Yeah, so the start of it coincided with me coming back from Egypt, though. You know what I mean? That experience, I think, really fueled my decision to come out and put new energy out, just in terms of recording new music and really expressing everything that I feel like I tapped into. Yeah, that's generally where we started.
What about Egypt brought that out?
I think being in that space and just the history of a place that is so ancient, you know what I mean? It really, for me on a personal level, it jogged my mind to like a very early time where I feel like beyond my body, like spirit, I tapped into just a spiritual awakening of sorts that really just, you know what I mean, allowed me to like become more of me, if I can put it that way. And I feel like in previous projects, maybe there wasn't that. And I felt like I need to renew the energy. I need to tap into, I need to get into studio and put out new music right now just to express how I'm feeling and where I'm at.
And what you found in Egypt, how is it different from what you get when you go to Kwandebele and when you go back home?
It's roughly similar, actually, if you're keeping it a buck, you know what I mean? It is quite similar. But I think because obviously Egypt is a more well-documented type of landmark. I think that in terms of just profoundly affecting me, it became that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That makes sense a lot. It also, with your music, right, there's also this element of visual art that has played like a big role, you know, even if it's, you know, post the music coming out or if it's part of the rollout picture, you know. You did a lot of art installations, if I could call them that, for your previous project.
With the puzzles and
with the
puzzles,
puzzles, you know, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
And then now I also see some like, you know, sketches and things of that nature, some artwork again post the release of Father of Zen, you know. What is it that you're trying to communicate or convey through that medium, the visual art medium, and when did it become such a pivotal point for you to tap into?
What I'm trying to communicate is the fact that art can coexist. So different spheres of art or different fields of art can all live in the same space. So how I approach my music is the same way an artist, someone who does maybe paintings, who does sketching, approaches their music. They're expressing whatever it is they're feeling, you know what I mean? And whoever experiences it is there to witness whatever the expression is. And for me, I feel like music has moved into a space whereby we want to critique expressions, which is like a ridiculous thing for me. You know what I mean? It's like your expression is your expression, dog. And I cannot come in and tell you, you're underexpressed, you're overexpressed. Simply because, for me, if you listen to music, you listen to what is said, nah? But equally important is what is not said. And for me, that creates the full picture. And people do not listen with that level of mindfulness. You know what I mean? We listen to get our itches scratched.
We're passive listeners now.
You know what I mean? So for me, with everything that I'm doing with connecting it with different art forms, I'm really trying to bring that entire awareness to the music that I make specifically. And for me, that's how I listen to music. When I listen to music, Fana, it's your report card. It allows me to understand how is Smang Mang actually doing. Like, despite whatever it is that they're telling me they're doing, I need to listen to the music beyond what they're saying. And I need to deduce what I'm deducing. And I need to walk away feeling like, okay, oh boy, I understand. This is what he's expressing. And I'm either walking away feeling inspired or I'm walking away feeling worried because I feel like, this guy is going through it. Fana, these songs, he's telling me about how depressed he is. And is there really like a way that we could be of help as his audience or whatever the case is? You know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, I think anyway, these chats sound crazy right now because people are listening to music because they want the hit song or they want whatever
But
it
also
is.
some people are making music in that way as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. But for me, I think this is the future of music where you're going to listen to music to really just understand your artist better and to really pick up certain nuances about whatever it is they're expressing.
Why do you say it's the future? Has it not always been like that?
I don't think that's the awareness that is like the trend right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not.
Maybe a resurgence of some sort.
It could be a resurgence. If it has been like that, I think it's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's also, you know what? I feel like the future of music is 15-second songs.
You know what I think the future of music is?
Yeah.
Just freestyling and expressing whatever it is that you feel right now in that moment. Forget what you could record in a studio and
It's tricky.
But
is that for albums? Because
no. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more visual. It's gonna be more live art type. Of, you see what Yeezy's going
more
already.
like.
I do agree. Music is just going to be an accessory.
I feel you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's.
Are you saying moving more into a space of improvisation live? And then whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah, like give us what you got now, my nigga.
That's
like
going back to jazz.
Forget the song that you know what I mean, that you spent hours really putting together.
Yeah.
We want to understand your body as it stands now.
Yeah.
What is flowing through you?
Yeah, it's literally going
For
back
me,
to jazz.
I think that's where we're moving towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure
Because
if
I think
like that.
because I think that's the most honest expression, dog. It's not too fabricated. It's not too calculated. It's a very
hard. It's
Look, it's not going to be everyone.
It's not
it's not going to be everyone.
But
yeah.
I get, even for those that will be doing it's too shooting from the hip for me.
There's people in Brazil who are already doing that. They
But
don't
here's the
record.
thing: because you coming in
They
with
don't record.
They don't record. You have to if you get a piece of them, it's something that was recorded live while they were doing it.
Oh yeah. I
so
know.
that's
I know
why I say it's like,
I
it's
forget
not gonna
an
be for
African
everyone.
band who did that as well.
Yeah.
you feel like it's too shooting from the hip.
Yeah, because in terms of when you go back to music and getting to understand an artist and relatability and all of that, if you go on stage, let me just say, for conversation's sake, what you're feeling now in your body, what you're going through is a headache. And we being jolly. It's not gonna.
I absolutely understand what you're saying. I think it's gonna be something that's reserved to a certain
That's why I say
few
it's not gonna
people
be for
in
everyone.
society because they have something to
I'd like
impart.
for us to speak at a broader. Yeah, and not.
You don't want the intimate life.
Yeah, I don't want the niche into those niche
Why
pockets.
they talking blockbusters, man?
You don't want cinema nouveau.
I want cinema nouveau now.
You don't want the nouveau life, man.
I feel you. Yeah. Look, Blockbuster will always be what the mass audience gravitates towards. You know what I mean?
So I'm saying blockbusters are 15 seconds now in the future. That's
Okay.
where we go.
Those are the ads for the blockbuster.
Yeah, I think those are the ads.
But what becomes the intention with that?
I mean, it's to trend. If you look at people that do this snippets,
Advert.
Trend in order to stream.
Yeah. Advert. It's an advert.
but if look, my example is this: the song that we spoke about, that Costa T song, which is 15 seconds. If that song it only exists like that.
That song is a version of another song. There's a full-length song
Advert.
of that song on that album, right? And he cut it to 15 seconds in order to make his audience. It's easier for the audience to put it on like a TikTok.
As a audio
Okay.
thing.
A snippet.
So for me, a thing about that, what I
Genius.
don't like about that is that normally when a song trends on TikTok, you don't dictate what the audience choose to make trend. The part of the song.
But sometimes you can.
You can, which is what he
can
did.
influence it.
Yeah, he did. Drake has done that. He made a song specifically for TikTok. You know? Well, not specifically, but that was the aim.
Contrary to popular belief, organic is very rare these days.
That's true, man.
I know.
That's true.
I know, because when you do everything that you do now, even in songs, they're like the label already uploads it as a sound on TikTok. Like they'll put it up as a sound.
They'll choose
Yeah,
which
that's true.
section.
As part of releasing the song, you send to radio DSPs. you send to TikTok. You put it on TikTok.
With that being said, how profitable do you think your music is at this moment?
Great question. Oof.
That's a great question. How profitable? I think because of the subject matter, it is kind of like the chats are very unpopular. You know what I mean? They're not what's trending.
Yeah.
But for me, I think my profit is in changing people's lives and affecting individuals out there. So if there's people who can hear the music and who can feel like, this is exactly how I've been feeling, or he's touching on stuff that I've really just been struggling to like word or like express. And this is someone who I look up to.
Yeah.
It really, for me, I think that's my profit. You know what I mean?
But you gotta eat.
I do gotta eat.
Zen gotta eat.
Yeah. But if you look at, obviously, this analogy I just made now speaks to the body of the album. But within the project, there's the type of songs that would be commercially viable. You know what I mean?
Like that joint with Fiesta Black and
Sort of Finest.
As well.
Yeah, so I think that balance for me is always important to just try and establish on the body of work.
But one thing I've learned over the years is not to get worried about artists who are not topping charts. Like, just personally, like, I've been amazed by artists who are not like at the... Instead, I'm getting more worried about the artists who are topping charts, who are on labels and whatever. Because artists at a smaller scale, they just find other avenues to plug into that make revenue for them. So for me, artists that are not like on top of the charts, I'm like, there's no way. This guy, there must be some way.
So are there other avenues that you're
exploring or dabbling into?
Are you gonna make a tonic?
I want to make water.
Yeah.
I want to tap into just a couple of ideas that I have. You know what I mean? But off the top of my mind, I want to make a water. Just come out with that. And yeah, man, I think it's the times that we're facing now, nothing is certain. So if I can just sort out my water and just make sure that Mfana, they cannot cut off the water and I'm stranded. You know what I mean? So that's where my head is at right now.
Nothing is certain but thirst.
And hunger.
Yeah, and hunger. Human needs, basically.
Yeah.
Now, with the subject of water, like we've seen you through many phases of your life, right? We've seen you're not really like a rager of sorts, you know what I mean? Even in your cash time days, you weren't like boom, boom out there. You were still the more calm person. But you've also mentioned that you've rid yourself of vices. You know,
yes.
You don't.
That was in confidence, brother.
Oh, was that in confidence?
Well, there goes that.
Oh my!
I'm playing. It's on one of the songs. Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna touch on one of the joints as well.
Yeah.
Like, yo, did I hear things? What's happening?
Was that supposed to? Because you know that's so funny. Because like, it's I mean, whatever floats everybody's boat. Because in my head I'll be like, I know there's artists that hide their love life or the fact that they're so that they appear to be single because that's more commercially accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But complete your question because we're here now.
Yeah, we're here now. Like you've mentioned like that you've let go of vices. Because I mean, if you think about it, we've even watched you go through like a body switch, because when you were doing the lean vibe, you were not lean.
Just naming all the drugs, everything I've done. Yeah, that's true, dog. I have kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
I remember me and Zinga used to joke about the fact that, like this is early cash time fam days. We talk about, Fana, like as rappers, we are so crazy right now, and we don't even smoke weed. Imagine if we smoked. You know what I mean? And
you went and smoked.
no. Let me tell it. So I mean, we ran with that until we tripped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And started obviously with lean. I think lean was what, early 2012, if not maybe late 2011. And that chapter was quite crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we would consume crazy amounts of lean. Funna, like every day, lean was the equivalent of water. So,
Damn.
if you're drinking 2 liters of water a day, we needed at least a 2 liter, a man in the squad for the day.
A man of like a mixture of Sprite and lean, or just lean?
No.
Bro, are you worried? I was like,
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a mixture. The mixture. You know what I mean? And those days were crazy, bro. And I feel like on an artist level, there's something about lean that stimulates
Don't do
the
that.
pineal gland. No. I'm just putting it out. This is my experience. Yeah. Okay. This is my experience. You know what I mean? It stimulates
To the
this
young
part of your
audience,
head.
I was about to say.
please refrain from any.
I mean,
Talk your story.
we're
bro.
telling the story, so don't log out now and then
Don't
go
log
drink
out.
lean.
Yeah,
You know what I
don't
mean?
log. This is not the point to log out.
Hear the full story. So it stimulates this part of your head, dog. For some reason, I don't know why, but I think hence you see a lot of kids who pick up the lean, get the urge to start. Now I've got bars. You know what I mean? Now I need a mic, I need a beat, and
As with most substances.
it becomes easier to become a rapper. Oh my God, this is such a messy thing that I'm saying.
I know you're gonna clean it up.
I'm hoping you're gonna clean it up.
How do I clean it up? Okay, let me do my
You know
best.
what?
Let me do my best.
I hear you, but I know I don't have the words to put it
The way, yeah.
I mean, but there's like most people have said that with the drugs of their time. You know,
Yeah.
there was De La
what-
Soul
yeah.
had like a skit of like, was it De La Soul where the guys hits the weed and it was called Ghost Rider or something. Yeah, you remember?
And then the voice of the weed starts.
Yeah, and then the voice of the weed comes in.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
MF Doom has stuff like that.
You know what I'm
That's dope.
saying? So for like it's not
It's not a new thing,
it's
no?
not a new thing.
do you
Yeah.
know-
But I
do-
think
do
with
you know what I
lean
feel?
specifically.
You see, now I was cleaning it up for you, but
Yeah.
now you go back to
No.
The danger of your statement now
I
is
wanna-
that also I feel like the media is only catching up to Lena. I also saw an article
Yeah,
today.
I saw that
Yeah.
on news
And
too,
then,
where, like it's a new thing.
I
but
feel like it's
but
dangerous
it's
for you
important
to-
to address,
apparently there
though.
is a resurgence.
It's an
Yeah.
important thing to address because of exactly what you say. There is a resurgence, and Mfana, we need to speak on it.
yeah.
So those are the early days, you know what I mean? For me, I think I realized at some stage that, you know what, this thing is not doing me any good. Like, for just my body doesn't feel like it's mine. It feels like, on top of that, mentally, I just feel like it slows you all the way down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying, yeah, not like out of
It
experience, but
slows
Zinga
you
said
all the
same
way
thing.
down.
Do you know?
Zinga
you
says
guys
the
speak
same thing.
about being slowed down, and I you know about it. My tenure with Lean and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you were there too?
Yeah, but not
For how long?
Joe, for me it was less than a year. But it was not.
a long
I was
time.
out of depression, so I'd have Lean to sleep.
Yeah.
So but you niggas don't speak about the constipation that comes with that.
Yeah,
thing.
nobody talks
how
about
I
that,
landed
how
up in
backed up,
hospital.
Yeah. You
How
get
I
backed
ended up in
man.
hospital was because of the constipation. I'll show you the
you
X-ray.
serious?
It was just like shit up on here.
Only
Don't show
Schoolboy.
me
The
that.
only other person that talked about it was
The Schoolboy
Schoolboy
Q.
Q.
Like
you-
they-
like
they
a
shy
week
away
For
from
started.
some reason, I don't remember that about it. Maybe our systems are different. You know what I mean?
Yo, doc, I'd have pains in the middle of the night.
That's what apparently that's what causes the weight gain as well, because you're
Yeah.
not letting out.
Not letting out the vibes. But continue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got to a stage where I was like, you know what? Just my body is not feeling I don't feel healthy anymore. And I need to make a change. And for me, I think 2013, I just decided, Yazin, I'm cutting it out. And I moved on beyond it, dog. And more importantly, my teeth still bear the brunt of my lean days till today. I'll be chewing gum and a piece of my tooth would break into the gum. You know when you're chewing through gum and you can feel what's in there's something.
So you were
in
always
there.
Jim Jones. I'm not Jim Jones. Juelz. Because you know Juelz lost his teeth.
Yeah,
because
he
of
lost
lean.
his teeth because of lean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he had to, the false
Yeah.
teeth. Though,
Bro, so Mfana, like for
that's
me,
a
I
kind of
realized
crack.
that,
Compared to crack, they just fall out, bro.
Yeah.
Literally.
I'm lucky because I was working at the bank, so I'd only do it at night. There was no place for intoxication in the day. Well, maybe not lucky, but
it is luck. It is luck. Yeah,
it's a mitigation. Yeah,
it is luck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fortunate that I was able to just cut it off when I did, because more importantly, it was starting to affect how I show up in the studio on a confidence level, just in terms of if I'm going in and I've got a session with you, I need to make sure I've got it. You know what I mean? And for me, I've always just been very mindful of the things that become like crutches for me. So I cut it off, but I didn't realize that I'd picked up another crutch in that entire period. Weed, you know what I mean? Smoking weed. And time went and I realized that, dog, this thing, for me personally, I don't think it's something that I'm meant to have as just a part of my chink. I think it's something that I was meant to experience and pick up what it is that I pick up from it, but I think I can move beyond it. You know what I mean? So I got to a stage where I also reassessed just my position with weed and my relationship with it, and I decided, Yazim, enough, I don't need this thing. Because I feel like now that I know what it does to you, I'm more now fascinated with trying to attain that state naturally. For me, that seems like the challenge that I wanna, you know what I mean? So I decided to cut it out, and it allowed me to be more present again, because I'd started living in my head. You know what I mean? I think this is what you spoke about to say. I started living in my head whereby, the activity was just like, for me, not something that was benefiting me.
And you think people can't see it, but you can see it in your
you know
eyes.
what I mean? So I cut it out and I decided, as in, I need to embark on a journey that is going to allow me to tap into that level of awareness or that higher vibration.
But still be present.
But naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think those parts sort of coincided with me now being someone who meditates heavily. But now I'd be meditating while smoking, and I'd realize, like, I'm canceling these things out somehow, because this thing is taking me there, but this one is also taking me there. But now I've got training wheels, or I'm you know what I mean? And I decided to cut it out, and man, it's been quite eye-opening just to have my freedom back and to not be dependent on anything, and to have my confidence back as a rapper, to be able to at any time just decide it's go time. I can jump into the studio and do whatever I want. I don't need any stimulants, even with alcohol. That was something that for me, I never really had a relationship of like dependency or whatever, simply because alcohol is such a norm in society that you tend to think it's the exception. You know what I mean? Like, I can quit everything, but my liquor needs to stay here. So I even got to a stage where I had to relook at my relationship with that. And I decided, even liquor and
cut off.
You know what I mean? Cut it out. And now I just feel like I'm vibrating off just like the 5 elements. You know what I mean? And for me, that is like bliss, bro.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's very
What's the
dope.
cartoon with the 5 elements? Is it Naruto?
That's Captain Planet.
Oh yeah, Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to you, Captain Planet.
Now you gotta be recycling things as well.
But yeah, man, just before we seal it off, from the album, what I know
We didn't even speak about the album.
We didn't.
just double dabbled. We're double touching.
We were double dutching.
Yeah.
Now we in it. We here now.
We get into
Father
the
of
album
Zen.
now.
An hour,
Yeah.
30 minutes later.
Yeah. Without getting into any specific talk, what's the biggest takeaway that you want people to get from this? I know it's such a Drum Magazine question. But
Yeah, it is. No, it is.
Yeah, it is. I knew it when I
I'll
asked it.
give
that
you a
it's
drum answer. Go inside. Go inside.
Doug, there's just, but for me, I nerd out on like how people write or how people write. Are you still writing, or are you also the
Off the head.
The free flow.
No, I'm writing now, bro. I'm writing because me being in my head was part of the problem with regards to me not being present. You know what I mean? So I started meditation simply because for 7 years prior, I'd been writing in my head, but I didn't have a way of like flushing everything that was in my head. You know what I mean? And that became a problem for me. So I decided I need to go back to writing on paper, and I need something that's going to help me with being present. So that's when I started meditating.
you can sort of hear it. You can
Okay.
you can sort of
That
hear it.
these
Is that
were
a good
written.
thing or a bad thing? Or what do you
That
mean?
I mean, some of the thoughts are so
well thought out.
they are well articulated,
Yeah.
right? However, you're doing a prodigy thing
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
For me. And I think
Yeah.
you know where I'm
Yeah.
getting at here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of traditional rhyming.
Yeah.
And you can't spot the rhyme.
Yeah.
So it also at some point it sounds like you're not rhyming at all.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want you to unpack that, because for me at first it used to be a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like,
I think it was.
how these niggas like this prodigy do this nigga not rhyming. Dog. Is this
Was it the
speech?
last bars on the Cure as well, where you're just like, I'm just like, this guy's
Yo,
not right
and then-
anymore.
But a lot of, I'm vibing with it a lot because everything sounds so honest, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes me back to a battle. It was a Calico.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said,
Sometimes
when it's the truth, it doesn't have to rhyme.
There's a difference between
There's
metaphors
a
and
level
real
of
raps.
truth. Yeah.
But I could spot, like, because it doesn't have the free flow of your flows back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does sound more militant.
More starchy
More
as well.
militant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
landing on the bar.
Yeah.
At times, like there's like it's ba ba ba. You know, like you're on the snare. Like you're on the pocket, bro. In some of the songs where it's like, okay, I
But
can
he's
see.
saying I'm not rhyming, and that sounds contradictory.
No, I'm talking about the flow.
Yeah, he's talking about the flow, you know, because
Okay.
the flows are still there.
Yeah.
You know, they are different, and I
Yeah.
said, they do sound more militant in a sense of like, yo, there is a teaching spirit in it.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like the song, it starts with a V. My pronunciation is
Fugasofen.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love, that's my favorite song.
Shut up.
Because I think it's something that I aspire to. You know what I
Okay.
mean? The routine that you lay out there is something that I've really tried to get into. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Wake up, lay out the yoga mat, panel beat the soul. You said
Yeah.
panel beat the soul. And I heard that,
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's
Yeah.
such the imagery is beautiful. You know what I mean? The figures of speech are there. But
Yeah.
I'm not spotting the rhymes as easy. You know what I mean? It's not the...
You know, if you're a genius, it'll be red.
Yeah. You know
Mm.
how easy. Let
Yeah.
me give you an example. How easy it is to spot your rhymes on Spomeko, Cape to God, about the Dubai. You know what I mean? That, and how easy it is to spot your rhymes on Pilimpil, Foreign Mami, Filipino. You know what I mean?
Okay, I think I understand exactly what you mean.
It's so easy to follow the rhyme there. But on this one, it's easier to follow the message than it is to follow the rhyme.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
then my job is done. My job is done. Yeah.
He wasn't really understanding where you were going. Like, you just went up.
But here's the reason why. I think more consciously with this project, I was approaching getting into the beat as an instrument on a more melodic pocket of like, if you were to hum the words of the thing, it's less predictable in terms of like where you'd expect it, right?
True.
But now think about like a guy who's coming in to play bass on your song.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want him to be, you know what I mean? You want him to be within the key of the song, but he can do whatever as long as he's within the key. And for me, that's how I approached like a lot of the writing in terms of just how I think about flowing and whether or not I'll leave the rhyme here and then get into like some inner syllables for a while and then pick it up like later, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's pretty much something that I did consciously. But also more importantly, what I wanted to prioritize was the message more than
the presentation of it.
But for me, I don't think there's a problem with the presentation.
No problem.
And I don't think it's something that was neglected in a sense that it sounds like message first and presentation second. I think they both, for me, are like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm not obviously the listener, although I do listen as well, but yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said, it's not anything foreign. You know, it's just that it's.
That's why you brought up Prodigy.
That's why I brought up Prodigy because
I need to go check his stuff out.
My closest reference, because Prodigy used to do that a lot. You know, you wouldn't catch the rhyme here, but you catch the flow and you catch
and what he's saying.
Yeah, there's even like a school of it. You know what I mean? That there's people that really subscribe to it and subscribe to that way of rapping. You know. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to tap in to ask you how intentional that was.
We're cheating the rhyme scheme with sort of enunciation of words.
No.
Because I know these cats also do that, like where they cheat like.
I'm trying to think of a project.
Like, the rhyme scheme with the
I'm heavily inspired by people like Fonte, dog. And if you remember on one of his little brother projects, he's got an entire verse where he doesn't rhyme. And he says it. He says it in the end to say, yo, I had your head bobbing and I didn't rhyme a word. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, I think there's an art in that.
There is.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
There is.
It's not as much a widespread appreciation of it.
Yeah.
But there's an art to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do rhyme. Come on, correct that.
He's saying that it's there, but it's just
I rhyme.
You do. It's not easy to spot. It's not easy. I think
you might take a couple of bars off and come back on it.
Man, so many people do it, and you see, I used to knock people for doing it until I understood that.
Yeah, there was a time when I was mad at it.
Yeah,
I was mad at it.
Nas, even Nas does it.
No, but you can't.
Okay.
Nas does the one that you get mad at.
Okay.
For me, about what Nas does, especially some of his earlier stuff in Fana, where he felt like he was just like too focused on telling me what it is. You know what I mean?
I think it came later.
Maybe it's a Queen's thing.
For me, it came.
Speak on mic.
It came like Stillmatic times. That's when I spotted it proper. Like,
with he's not rhyming.
This nigga on Got Yourself a Gun, and he made it a single. The first 4 bars, nigga was not rhyming. My first album had no famous guest appearances. The outcome, I'm crowned the best lyricist. Many years on this professional level. What would you question is better? The world is still mine. Tattoos real with Godson across the belly. The boss of rap. You saw me on belly with thoughts like that. But this take it back to Africa. I did it with Biggie. Me and Tupac were soldiers of the same struggle. And then he starts with a handle. There's a pocket. There's a flow.
I can hear
it's like, it's this.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
You know what I mean? Because Jadakiss does this.
Yeah, Jadakiss is
Jadakiss does this beastly.
Jada is also another big influence in how I rhyme, dog. Like in terms of just taking those bars off and then coming back to like tie it in. a lot later. Obviously, then I mixed it up with other influences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I might take like an extra bar than what Jada would do. But I mean, yeah, man, I think it's an art for me. I think rhyming predictably and hitting that same snare or that same bar, for me, that's monotonous, dog. I believe in like, yo, nigga, go crazy. Like, put the rhyme here, as long as melodically, for me, it sounds dope.
Yeah.
That's
what
my
I'm
thing.
saying.
I didn't realize got yourself a gun, dude.
Bro, like
He does kind of rhyme.
He does.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He
saying.
does it with the enunciate, like
That's what I was saying, like the air.
You say lyricist, then you like, it was a bit of
Exactly.
a cheat there, but
That's what I was talking about.
How do you feel
niggas
about that? Do you
cheat
feel like
the
he's
rhyme scheme with the
lazy?
enunciation.
Do you feel like that's lazy type
You see,
writing?
I used to think it was late. I used to
At the time?
At the time,
Yeah.
you know, because I was so because we were like Brooklyn.
How do you feel
lovers.
about it now?
Because that was a Queen style.
Yeah,
we were
you
like
see,
a Brooklyn. We like
love Brooklyn rap.
Yeah.
And when you listen to
Prodigy is also Queens, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you listen to Biggie, you know what I mean? You listen to Busta. Busta rhymes.
He
You know what I mean? Most Def.
Rhymes.
Yo.
Talib.
When you listen to Priority, like you're just like, yo, like you know, these are people that rhyme. Hove,
Even 2 words.
you know, these are rhymers. But then when
Two
you
words,
go,
what, the Kanye song.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
dude, like he
I feel you.
no, high stakes. Well,
Yeah, no,
capsules,
everybody
scandals,
move.
Oh my word! But yeah,
He
like,
skated on that. Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, but then
Ghetto
when you,
people got this.
like when you go into Queens, like Queens has it's got a certain way of doing it,
they've
especially
got
when you're
different
doing
styles.
Yeah, you're a Queens nigga.
when you're doing the slow flow, when you're doing the conversational flow, it does that.
I think 50 broke that Queen's thing.
Yeah. But then, I mean, it's not
he
like
came
all
with
of
it.
them
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
Action Bronson will rhyme his ass off as well, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah, he's a Wu-Tang Queens guy.
Yeah.
I feel you.
but he rhymes his ass off. You know what I mean? But like I'm saying, at that time we were so fixated with rhyming in a certain way, and we were just like obsessed with how people could.
The rhyme must be in the
That
same
rhyme
place.
must be not, you know what I mean?
If it's in the end, in the first line,
or,
the second,
or it must be done,
yeah.
or every word must rhyme. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like every word is rhyming, or every second word. But
Aye,
if-
that pressure is crazy.
but that's how we were, you know, until you start to ingest a whole lot more.
How do you feel about the way Jay rhymes?
Jay-Z.
That's my goal, dog.
Let's go.
But do you not feel like he does the
You see, Jay, he even cheated.
scattered type of rhyming where he
cheated.
puts it
Well,
anywhere?
lately he does dabble in that, right? But before he would even cheat words. He's not having that. Those two track like magnets. He was supposed to say magnets.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
He
That is
forced
so
it. He
dog,
really
but
forced
do you
it.
not appreciate
That's
that?
the enunciation of
That-
words.
That
But do you not appreciate
Yeah.
that? That is so flagrant, dog.
it
That
depends
is
on who's
flair.
doing it.
But
I'm gonna be honest with
Does
you.
it not depend on how it's done?
No, it depends on who's
Prodigy
doing
didn't.
it.
Why?
But Prodigy wasn't doing like that.
Because people were like, what is apologizing when Kanye was like, end up
Yeah.
apologizing?
Let's hear the bar. I think it's how it
Don't ever
sounds.
fix your lips like collagen and say something when you're gonna end up apologizing. That was Kanye.
That was
And
you
that's
see,
cheating
you
a
see.
word. That's even creating a word, you know? And I know we're nerding out so hard right here, but it
no,
is
no,
what
no,
it
no.
is.
doesn't
You see,
sound-
we're here
Kanye
now.
and Jay do that a lot.
when you see like when I say that Prodigy, I say that's why Prodigy was like a perfect example. When you listen to like Bird, stupid ass nigga, I had you killed. All I had was your picture at the funeral. No caskets, you bastards be missing. My rims, my Timbs.
My thumbs, my women.
Hey, it's just like,
Wait, is this Prodigy?
Yeah.
You can't, Fana, you can't compare what I do to.
No.
Just in terms of in terms of the scattered, in terms of the scattered flowing,
okay.
no ways, dog. No ways. No ways.
So we
I
might
would
not
say-
meet. It
I'm not
doesn't mean you
comparing
sound
you
like him.
to
The
Prodigy.
device is similar.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Way.
no, listen to what I'm saying.
Bro.
I'm trying to make people understand that there is
This is gonna be a long school.
There is a school of rap where they subscribe
To that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
fair.
think your perfect analogy was the Fonte verse. Let's lay it there.
If you want that.
But not even that.
Okay.
Because he does the total extreme of
what you do.
what we're discussing, right? Of
Yeah.
this non-rhyming in pocket. He did now not rhyming at all.
You
And-
dudes just had to spot.
Dog, I do it like you playing bass guitar over the song and you're still in key. You know what I mean?
All right, we're gonna leave it to the listeners. But you see how sensitive. Let me just show how sensitive our ears are to rhymes. Let me just put it like that. Like my favorite verse, one of my favorite verses of all time is Andre 3 Stacks' Aquemini last verse.
Yo, but that rhyme is rhyme. That's perfection
You know
rhyme.
what I mean? When
Let's
you-
hear it. Let's hear it, dog. You got it?
Yo,
We can't play it now.
I can't.
No.
The thing is,
play it after. Shit's gonna be taken.
every now and then it's happening again.
Tell you when, Andre, this is Andre. Y'all just gonna have to make amends. You know what I mean? It's like
I fucked with Outcast.
You went big on that, no?
No, Outcast is not bullshit.
Yeah, I know that one. You must leave alone. That one is.
I'll check it out. I'll have to go jam that.
Yo,
Last
I'll
song.
play you equipment after this.
Yeah, after this.
You haven't heard Aquemini, dog? You haven't heard that song?
I've heard the
Even the sun
project.
goes
I
down.
haven't heard that.
Heroes
last
eventually
song.
die. Horoscopes often lie.
And sometimes why? Nothing is for certain.
Nothing lasts forever.
Ah, man. Nothing is for sure. Nothing is for certain.
Andre is a
Nothing
problem.
forever. So until they close the curtain.
It's him and I. Aquemini.
The name is Big Boy, Dirty Bad Sax. I don't know what the Cadillac song. Even when Big Boy comes through, dog.
Fire, no?
Mama, I want to trick off. Mama, I'm sucking dick.
My
Okay,
word.
gents.
Sorry, guys. This was the hip hop nerd out part of it. But
Yeah.
I was just inquiring about that sort of writing
I
because
feel you.
Was that intentional?
Yes, it is. Every time I do it, I think it's become some sort of signature in just how I do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I like to add a melody to the song. So a guitarist would play it. And funny enough, Ufatso actually made me realize that this is how he was hearing the thing. Tsecho MG, he, a lot of the times, would play whatever verse I've got in a song just on his guitar. You know what I mean? In live sessions. And you know what I mean? We'd realize that, damn, this is actually like another
In
instrument
key, yeah.
on top of what is already there as a beat. So,
That's interesting.
that's mad interesting.
I think the
But
old-
I mean, you've always been an
but if you
innovator
listen
then.
to someone like Cooley,
I was about to say T as well.
Cooley does that.
Stogie as well. Like if you listen to, like if you were mixing his thing, you can see it. In
Yeah,
key.
Stogie does that.
Yeah.
Simply because he's got also the unbroke. He doesn't like to have
Yeah.
gaps.
He doesn't
in
chop
between.
his things. Yeah.
It's one continuous stream of
Yeah.
like whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it sounds like you just constantly like.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Very
I'll
interesting,
check
man.
Cooley out as well.
A very interesting project.
Please go out and play it, Buffet too. Go out and get it. I think it's my most important project.
La la la.
You know what
It's
I mean?
dope.
Because
I think it sounds like it. I mean,
because it ties everything up for me. Like it feels like what I'd put out as like my last album. To like, yo, this is
Yeah.
because I went into making it with the intention of just trying to consolidate everything. But then when my kid came about, I realized that, damn, I looked at my entire catalog and I thought, Ish, if my kid listens to my entire catalog, what is she going to walk away with? So I really had to like tie it up and make sure that the ending of the story now it just sounds like this is my last album, the way I'm going on. But what I wanted these 3 albums to be was a trilogy of sorts, you know what I mean? Because I feel like beyond this, what I'm going to create is just going to be in its own plane.
I know what you feel like at the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? What I'm going to create beyond this is going to be something else, dog. And this album, I feel like, was still in the pocket of the previous 2. So I wanted to, messaging-wise, close off a lot of the stories and tie it up nicely and make sure that...
There's even a bar where you even list the homies and like.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
so beautiful. It was like, doesn't happen without a
Yeah.
you know
That
what I
sounded
mean? Like,
that for me sounded like, oh man, this is like
like-
it sounds like an end of an era.
Yeah, it is, dog. It is the end of an era. And I think beyond this is just something else. Like, for me, I can't even word it. It's just a picture in my mind. You know what I mean?
I think the best word is renaissance.
Yeah. That sounds very close to
what you have in your mind.
yeah.
Very interesting,
That's
right? I
amazing.
mean, it's really dope to have witnessed like third quarter pace. There are some similarities that I hear, from the third quarter pace to here.
On
Third quarter
this.
pace or third quarter pace?
Three.
Third quarter,
Yeah.
sorry, third quarter.
Yeah. There are similarities, you think?
Yeah.
What are you picking up?
There was a joint. I mean, like Vegas Thing reminds me of one of the songs.
Overslept.
Yeah.
It's a full circle.
It's a- yeah.
Good time. Ungasala, don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wake up, nigga.
Yeah, alright. I'm playing, but I must say I really enjoyed listening to this trilogy, and I really enjoy how cathartic you've been with it. You know what I mean? We really know you through your music. We know the internal battle with like leaving school, and we know about your soccer aspirations. You know what I mean? And, and then your rap aspirations, and how really you were into the culture. You know what I mean? Going to like a Gandhi before McDonald's. It's just like, it's really like such a nice journey to witness and to follow, and you made it easy to follow through the music, which is really dope.
Bless up.
Yeah,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
Yeah, real talk, man.
It sounded like a closing chat. Though.
It does. This thing is about to say, well, thanks for listening.
Because we can chill here all day, man, and chop it up about everything, especially on rap, man.
Most def.
I think you understand where
I
we
want to
are.
ask you about the sequencing. I was questioning one thing. I love the album.
Shut up.
I was questioning why you put that piano song where you put it, dog. Especially with FB's verse. Which,
Yeah. The reason it's at the end, right, is because the whole album is a story.
but it's not at the end. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like third last.
Third last, yeah. But it is at the end simply because beyond that you get the closing where you get into Umdeni, and I'm just now saying thanks.
That's where it's weird for me. It's like I'm coming from Nanga 5 Tower.
Yeah.
10 Tower.
But here's the thing, it ends there and you don't even get to understand what I did with that offer, because she presents an offer on the song to say, yo.
And then you're talking about fam, dog.
Yeah, and then we sort of black the movie out and we say thanks to say, yo, you need to imagine what this new guy who's been through everything that you've experienced on the album, what he would do in that scenario.
Shout out to Fiesta Black. I love Fiesta
She
Black.
bodied that, dog.
I love Fiesta Black, yo.
Yeah.
Guy, you've been saying.
Yeah, she took it to the top. Shout out to her.
Yeah, man.
What's happening here?
He's at the closer.
He's out. That
Bro,
nigga is out.
are you alright?
I'm cool.
Nigga said, yeah, man.
Nobody I'm gonna
no.
have to go connect the rhymes, bro. It's gonna be lit. At that time, when you listen to it and it sounded so good, he even said, "Oh man, this guy sounds so nice here."
Yeah.
Like just from the opening, like you're opening the Cures, like
Yeah.
this sounds nice.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah. For me, you know why I had that as the opening?
Mm.
Right now, there's so many chats about vaccine, wada. It's like we've totally eliminated the possibility of like
self-cure.
a cure. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And for me, I needed to really put that out there. And I wanted that to be the very first song that people hear.
Yeah.
But that song is not even about a cure for COVID. It's about a cure for everything that humanity is going through.
I think that's how we all took it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, what we need to cure is the egoic mind. That is the core of everything that is fucked up about the world.
What's egoic?
Egoic.
It's the egoic mind that, you know, as we're sitting here, there's a lot of chatter in your mind. And that becomes like a, what can I say? What is this?
A barrier.
Barrier.
A barrier
Yeah.
to you being present. there's nothing to think about.
You'll be my therapist now.
Dog, there's nothing to think
Sounding
about.
like my therapist now. Aye.
In fact, if you,
Some people don't you see. That's the barrier I was
Let's
talking
not-
about back there, first episode.
yeah,
with
but,
you.
but there's the
I was
beauty
like,
about the full
I'm
circle. There's the beauty about the full circle and the realization. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I had to go there so I
Yeah.
can come back and say, yo,
it's not the place to be there.
don't go there.
Yeah.
Referred to. You know what I mean? There's nothing to think about, Father. If we were all present as humanity, a lot of the fucked up shit wouldn't be happening. But cool.
Yeah,
Too much conjuring up.
yeah. Trying to put yourself in the situation.
And that's what we need to cure.
This situation.
It's an interesting way to look at things. It is because there's never one solution.
I know what that means. I know what that means.
I'm all about array of
Yeah.
solutions and
Yeah,
tackling
I agree.
things.
There's more than
There's
one answer.
more than one
right
more
answer.
than one answer. So,
That's true.
This adds to the plethora of possible answers in life.
Egoic. This episode in like from the beginning, yo.
We could have done it in vernac.
Yeah.
We should have done it in vernac, gents.
No, they're gonna say we need subtitles. They fight us over
They
there.
fought us.
Many people came for us with
With Marco.
the Mago one.
With the
Are you
Marco
serious?
episode.
Yeah,
Yo,
your people.
people's was
That was a
having
dope
us.
episode, though.
Mad,
Like, yo, how am I supposed to understand this if I'm Zulu?
till this day.
wild.
That time it wasn't Spittoon.
That just shows they can't even tell between Sotho, Spade, Swana.
And
It's
Marco
like,
came here and spoke Sotho, no?
Yeah, I think it's Sotho. Yeah, he spoke Sotho.
He spoke Sotho all the
They
way.
were speaking Sotho as well as speaking Spade.
No, we were speaking Zval.
Zval.
18 way.
That's crazy.
Italy.
This is so too fit.
No, but when Sotho, they say we speak a different Sotho.
Yeah, but just know that the battle's not gonna know.
Yeah. Nilimle paqame.
It's not one again.
Zake baya. I honestly no. Go tell me that clip yeah that they Twiso. Honestly, you're not on social media, ne?
No, I'm there.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but
Lurking or
Not too crazy.
get TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, get TikTok. So it's so fun. Like you don't get any of the bullshit. It's just like
For now. You know.
Yeah,
Feel
well,
you.
for now.
Yeah, they're gonna tempo with it.
I see the ads already creeping in.
The ads are there, but it's cool. We skip, but it's just TikTok is just like
It's light.
it's
a
light,
dope
it's a
space.
bliss. Just wanna laugh. Like literally,
It almost feels like TikTok doesn't have ego.
it doesn't have ego.
Yeah.
Also,
What do you mean? As in the people on it?
People don't
it's
take
almost
themselves
like
too
this-
seriously.
Yeah, there's no
You
checklist
know what
of
I'm saying?
like what
Lighting.
lighting, what has to be posted.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
Instagram, the food has to be from Tang or
Tesha's.
Tesha's. You know, TikTok, you see people
Free
from
space.
all walks of life.
Yeah, no.
That's dope.
Like it's a democracy out there. That's what I love it for.
democratic, very
Yeah.
democratic.
Definitely, if I wanna laugh, I go there.
Okay.
TikTok cut the check.
Yeah.
Alright, y'all.
No, that guy's ending the show there.
This is your home, man.
He's got places to be,
me, I
this
gave
guy.
you flowers. I was just giving you flowers, my G.
Yeah.
This nigga's like, I
Just showing you the door. I was just like giving you flowers, my
Do
G.
you feel like that? Do you feel like I'm doing that?
I don't know, dog. I don't know.
No.
No, be you, my dog.
Do we not normally keep the show around this time? What's the
Yeah, no,
clock
he's
saying?
right though. It's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not. And also, this is your home. Can always come back.
Yeah.
You're a returned soldier already.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Appreciate that.
Yeah. With that said, shout out to my moms.
And everybody's not gonna.
There we are.